my pleasure and pleasure to introduce Mario Lopez and his wife Danielle. Yeah. I first heard Mario on the radio being interviewed on a nationally syndicated radio show, and I heard the terms veteran and artist in the same sentence, and that perked my interest. And then trying to forge a new career in art, and that's our mission statement. It's like I got to get to find out who this is. I'm like, I don't have a pen or pencil on me, and he's about to give out the website, his own website, and I'm like, there's no way I'll ever remember this, and go, paintings by Mario. I think I can remember that. And I did, and then he got back to me, and coincidentally around the same time we were searching for a recipient of our brand new Veteran Artist Grant, which is meant to support a veteran that's starting a new career in art, and that's exactly what Mario is doing. In the last few days we spent together, I have to say I've learned more than Mario probably has learned from me, from him and his wife, and it's been a very touching experience to share the last 2 days together. And let me give you a quick little background on Mario. Sergeant Mario Lopez, born in Corpus Christi, Texas in 1984. He grew up expressing his artistic side in just about any medium he could find. He was motivated by the events of 9/11 to join the U.S. Army in 2003. In 2005, he deployed to Iraq, then to Afghanistan in 2007. While on mission in Afghanistan, he was hit with an IED and was seriously injured. He endured burns on 54% of his body, right arm amputation, loss of vision in right eye, loss of 4 fingers on his left hand. He was rushed to San Antonio Military Medical Center in August of 2008. He was awarded the Purple Heart for his bravery and sacrifice, and we thank you. During his recovery, he turned to painting once again. He discovered to be therapeutic during his time of healing, and his works include landscape, abstraction, and his own designs. He has a very positive attitude toward life, and despite great adversity, climbing many of life's mountains, his paintings are reflective of his perseverant spirit and unwavering faith in Jesus Christ. He is proud to bring hope to others through sharing his faith, his paintings, his personality. And Mario has a motto that life is worth living. And I present Mario Lopez.
Thank you all so very much. Now I don't have to say anything. He said it all. I wanted to paint y'all a verbal picture of my life, my journey up to this point. And it's pretty intense, but it all happened. I want to start with this slide over here. I joined the Army in 2003 after 9/11. As you read. I was motivated by the Twin Towers that were attacked. I just thought, how could they do this to our country? I wanted to go, kick down some doors. I wanted to get some payback. I learned that that's not how the Army works. Everyone's got a different job, and so I performed it to the best of my abilities. This is Camp Victory. This is Iraq. This is where I was. It was really nice in Iraq. There was a lot of things to do there and a lot of downtime between missions. These are the hooches we stayed in. Well, not hooches. These are nice trailers. They had air conditioning and everything. And there was golf and whatnot. And there's beautiful lakes there. And it's a great mission. Great leadership. It was a lot of fun. Great learning experience. Some people go to college. I went to Iraq. So. But a year and a half later, I went to Afghanistan. After a year in Iraq, I went to Afghanistan. This is what it was. It was completely different mission, completely different SOP, standard operating procedure, completely different command. It was hell on earth. Like the climate was, there's dust storms every single day. You know, it was a real battle just to get out of bed. 4 months into my deployment, I got hit with an IED, and there's me there, and those are the dump trucks that I was in. 4 months into my deployment, I got hit with IED, and I was underneath. I was in there, in that hatch. That hatch actually came down on my arm, so while I was on fire, you had to pull me out. It was a 300-pound IED, and like I said, I got trapped underneath. And while I was trapped, the vehicle caught on fire, and there's diesels spewing out all over the ground. And while I was on fire, I remembered what kind of weapon I had. I had 9 203 rounds strapped to my chest. You can see on the left side where it's actually being loaded into the weapon. That's the type of weapon I had. They're made out of plastic, and so those things, with enough heat, they'll just explode. You know. None of them went off, so you know, I'm here right now. So I had 9 of them, yeah. And that was my first miracle. While they were working on me, I was completely conscious. I had no morphine in my bloodstream whatsoever, because they didn't give a medic any. So I had to wait until I got in the helicopter, and they said that that I had lost so much blood that they were going to give it to me. I told them, I will jump out of this helicopter if you don't give it to me, because this is too much pain. I was strapped down pretty good, so I didn't get to jump out. But they finally gave me some morphine. They said, "All right, it's your funeral," and I said, "All right, well, you know, if I die, whatever." And so I got transferred from Germany to, I went from a little cash hospital in Afghanistan. Then just they wanted to evaluate me, make sure I wasn't going to die on the way, and they tried to stabilize me. And I went from Germany to San Antonio. They flew me straight to San Antonio, Texas, BAMC, the greatest hospital in the world, for burn injuries. I did all my recovery there. It was a good experience as far as healing, but just the you know, the day-to-day, it was just the hardest thing I've ever had to do. You know, being staples pulled out of your skin, you know, and doing all the skin grafts, and you know, it was very, very difficult. But with God's help, you know, I survived. But at that time, while I was going through my injuries, I didn't put him first. I just decided I was just gonna. He wasn't there for me in Afghanistan, so I'm just not gonna even worry about him. And these doctors and these nurses are helping me, so I'm gonna put all my faith and trust in them. And then finally, after a while, I started to notice their flaws, and they're humans too, you know, and they're not gods, you know. And so I said, well, I can't count on God, can't count on doctors, I'm just gonna count on myself. So maybe these drugs will help me that they give me. So I was self-medicating, and I was you know, drinking every night, and like excessive amounts, and I was taking more medication than I should be, trying to cope. You know, I was going to Walmart and buying Benadryl and cold and sinus, and you know, Sudafed, and those types of things that really try to knock you out, just trying to cope with the pain and just my new life of not being able to do things for myself, and so one night in my days from all my medication, I remember falling asleep and thinking, wow, Mario, you took a lot. You are going to die tonight. And I started to feel my heart slow down, and I started to feel my breath. It was being very laborious, and I just said, if I die, I die. I should go to heaven after all the sacrifices I've done for my country is not how you get to heaven. It's not by works. It's by your faith and your trust in Jesus, you know. And I woke up in my sleep, if that makes any sense. My spirit looked like that puff of smoke, like if you blow out a candle. That's what it looked like. And I started traveling down instead of up. And I was like, where am I going? You know, and I started going faster and faster and faster. And then I saw a small pinhole of orange light. And then next thing you know, I'm smack dab in the middle of hell. And this is the best picture I could find of it. And I don't know if I actually went there or if I caught a vision of it or what I saw, but there was houses tumbling in the distance like tumbleweeds. I fell inside a house with no roof, and there was creatures in there, not of this world. And there was a lady levitating on an altar. She was like what a classic witch looks like. She had black sackcloth on for clothes, and she was white pieces of white hair. She looked like she was 300 years old. Like she just, like, you know, she was emaciated, but she was just levitating on this altar. I noted 3 sensations I felt there. I felt hatred. Hatred in hell is like a tangible thing. It's like a fog. You can bottle it if you wanted to. Like, it's a tangible thing, the hatred. I felt hopelessness. Hopelessness there is crippling. I felt the heat on earth. I know what it feels like to be on fire. Like you get a little pain here, a little pain here, a little pain here. But in hell, it's like acid. It's like all over your body, and it doesn't stop. And I was in there, like, I mean, if I brought it to human time, I was in there maybe 5 minutes, but it felt like an eternity. And so while I was feeling all those sensations and I saw all those things I was seeing, there was this gargoyle-looking demon. He was just perched up on near this altar, and he pulled me without even touching me. So, you know, you're on earth and you can think like, I'm this big bad dude or whatever, but in hell you can't even move. But I was trying my hardest not to move, and he just pulled me without even touching me. And so then I woke up. So I went and I told my psychologist. The next day I told my psychologist and my doctors and my social workers. I was like, what did I see? What was this? Like what did I experience? And it was not of this world. I don't like scary movies. I was brought in a Christian home, but I never really bought what they were selling. And I didn't know any of this type of information. No one described hell to me before. I didn't read any books about it or anything. I just had this information I didn't know, and I knew it. And I know the sensations, and I felt it. And I have a good imagination, but it was out of this world knowledge. And so they told me, it's just PTSD, it's just post-traumatic stress disorder, don't worry about it. So they patted me on the back, handed me some more pills, and sent me on my way. So I believed them. You know, I should have talked to Chaplain, but I didn't. Because I probably knew what they would say. And so then, so after that, about a year and a half later, I lived my life. I was a single guy, you know, so you can imagine what kind of shenanigans a single guy could get into. And that's what I did. I just kept living life, same as wild as I was. And then I had a surgery done a year and a half later after that experience, and they put a medical device underneath my skin. It was called a tissue expander, and I started bleeding internally from it. And when I started bleeding internally, they gave me 4 pints of blood. It's called a blood transfusion, or the doc's right there, he'll tell you. But I guess he told me I got probably
transfusion reaction.
Transfusion
Basically,
reaction.
Antibody, you had an antibody towards whatever they were giving you.
Yeah, so I developed 108 fever. 105 fever, as far as I know, can kill you or give you brain damage. I had 108. And I shouldn't be thinking right now, I shouldn't be talking, you know. So I was crossing over to the other side. And inside my room, there was these creatures, very similar to what I saw a year and a half ago. And they were just, they weren't really talking to me, or I don't really remember. But I can spiritually discern that they were just like saying, you didn't learn nothing. You know, you listened to us this whole way. You know, we lied to you, you didn't learn nothing. You're going to hell with us tonight. Like, that's what they were telling me. They were just laughing, just mocking me. And my mom was praying by my bedside. She's a minister also. They have this church in San Diego, Texas. And she knew it was spiritual warfare that was going on. And there was this one demon. She was a demon of lust. She looked like Angelina Jolie. One of these days I'm going to get in trouble for saying her name so much. But she was really beautiful, but she had green skin instead of, you know, our kind of skin. And she had black slick hair, and like oiled slick hair, and she had this halter top dress on, and as she walked, she left this slime or this sticky oil or something on the ground, and I associate her with the demon of lust because I had a lot of lust in my life. And she looked like she was the one in charge too, though. And I had this big rock-looking demon. He looked like on have you all seen Fantastic Four? Yeah, he looked like that. He's just like a rock. Just imagine a rock with walking around, you know. And then there was this classic-looking demon. He had a big fleshy nose, and he was like 2 feet tall, 3 feet tall. And he was like the little working one. He was trying to separate my soul from my body, trying to pull me out. And then as this was going on, you know, my mom's sitting there praying, and this angel just comes out of the ceiling like a whirlwind. And he looked a lot like this, except I don't really remember wings. If I remember wings, they were like made out of light. And he had this armor on, and it had it was silver with gold outlining, or platinum. Those of you who don't like silver. And he was blonde, okay, and blue eyes. He had a sword, and in the sword was these types of designs like Arabic or Celtic, or you know, these types of designs inside the sword. Like the sword was like hollow with inside this, you know, it had holes in it. And I'm a soldier. I don't know anything about swords or anything like that. I did some research, and it's to make them lighter. So that's information I didn't know anything about. And so yeah, so I just woke up after that, and after he came in, and I just like said, all right, angels are real, demons are real, hell is real, because I think I've seen it, and God must be real, and Jesus is the most truest faith that I know of. You know, all the other religions, you have to pay for redemption. Jesus just gives it to you, you know, because he paid for it on the cross. So I started doing research because I like science. I started to research for through creation science. I learned words like irreducible complexity, the phi ratio, golden ratio. I learned about animals that defy evolution, and I just completely sold out to the Lord, and He just helps me every day and just gives me the strength, to talk to people about Him. Just this whole trip, just being here was just absolute, just divine appointment. Just all the people I met, just so glad I met y'all. And so now I have a new mission in life, new purpose, and I paint, and I express like how happy I am for living, and just want to spread the joy and happiness. I just walk through Walmart or Target, or I don't know which one of y'all's favorite, but I just walk through and just people just see me just carrying on and just smiling and just come to me and say thank you, and it gives them hope. And it's nothing to do with me. It's all my strength comes from Jesus, like all of it. So that's it. That's all I have to say.